The options for authenticating when using the Azure PowerShell commandlets depend on whether you're using the classic Azure Service Management model or if you're interacting with components of the Azure Resource Management model. I'm not sure why that's so hard to say. In any case, one thing to understand is I can have a single subscription and I can have resources that may be in one or the other or both, right? And you know, for example, if I'm running a service bus namespace right now at the time of this recording, that is still an ASM resource. So it's still a classic or version 1 resource, whereas I may be running with version 2 virtual machines and virtual networks as well, or other components, web application, which is version 2 as well. So you can have this combination, but understand that when you're interacting with them through PowerShell, it's going to be a different set of PowerShell commandlets. You might even, if you're working with both, you may be authenticating twice. One for using the version 1 PowerShell commandlets, ASM PowerShell commandlets, and the other, of course, for the ARM. Now, I bring that up because your options are different based on which one you're using. If you're using the ASM, the classic model, then you have the ability to you have two options. One is to authenticate using Azure Active Directory. Okay? And that means that you'll be able to use either your Microsoft account that is associated with your Azure subscription, or if you've created global administrators, for example, in your Azure subscription that are actually defined within your own Azure Active Directory. And if you're not sure what that is, that's going to be a conversation with your system administrators. But you can log in that way. Okay? You can also, in ASM, the original, you can have what's called a publish settings file that you download. Okay, the publish settings file is going to have connectivity information, and you basically can download that from the portal and then use that, and that's going to be, or can be, effectively a permanent authentication and login. So you won't have to keep re-logging in. In the ARM, the only option is Azure Active Directory because, frankly, it's more secure. Even though using publish settings is more convenient, I don't really recommend that even with ASM, because having that long-term authentication just kind of sitting on your machine, that's just not something that is generally considered a security best practice.